We've saw what happened with vaccines. Well, recently Nigeria just received, I think it's about 4 million doses, but we had to wait. I mean, nowhere have I ever felt more vulnerable than to think that we have to just wait until we receive these vaccines. When will we ever get to a point where we can develop our own vaccines? And so that maybe we can be players instead of pawns.
Yeah. If your heart was broken, Stanley, mine was shattered. COVID opened a lot of people's eyes. But the argument that people put forward for us to look inwards, which they suddenly woke up to because of COVID, people like me woke up to it 10 years ago. You know, I took my master's at the University of Edinburgh, I took my PhD at the University of Leeds, and I turned down great opportunities to come back to Nigeria to do exactly what I'm doing, because I know the potential that we have in this country. And if you go online, and you check my pedigree, I didn't wait for COVID to start arguing for us to manufacture vaccines in Nigeria. Close to a decade ago, I was making that argument. When meningitis came up, we made that argument. There are at least 4 or 5 seminal interviews I had given before COVID came up, before people knew what COVID was, arguing that we needed to manufacture vaccines in Nigeria. And the reason isn't far-fetched. Myself and a few colleagues in PMG-MAN, especially Dr. Oke-Akpa, articulated the concept of medicine security, which argued that unless the people are able to determine how their medicines are produced and distributed, that particular group of people will not be able to ensure sustainable access to high quality, affordable and timely health care for their citizenry. And embedded in that particular concept were things like job creation, were things like capacity building, were things like knowledge transfer, were things like revenue generation for people along the value chain, from the farmers to the processors, to the manufacturers, to the packaging, to the logistics, across the value chain. Local manufacturing is an argument that sells itself, except in places like Nigeria. About 4 or 5 years ago, one of the saddest days of my life, we were seated in a meeting that was called in the Federal Secretariat. And we had a room filled with people from international organizations and development partners and other related organizations. We pitched medicine security as the philosophy that should underpin why the Ministry of Health should procure the majority of its pharmaceuticals from local manufacturers. And we gave all the benefits, including health security, medicine security, job creation, all these things I've listed out. It was and this was a room that had about 40 people. Obviously, this was pre-COVID. This was a room that had about 40 people. The only gentleman that spoke in favor of our concept was a Senegalese gentleman in his 60s, who said, and I quote him, that he has confidence in Nigerian medicines, that for the period he had been heading the United Nations organization for 4 years, that every time he goes to the pharmacy shop to buy his antihypertensive medicines, he always requests for made in Nigeria medicines, and he has never gone wrong. The remaining 39, out of the ones that spoke, all of them argued in favor of importing medications from where they were sourced cheaply, because it could provide the highest amount of healthcare for the most amount of people. Where are those people now? COVID has shut everybody up.
That is one major challenge. So Nigeria should venture into development of vaccines.
Absolutely. I mean, the government has taken all the right steps. Government has taken all the right steps. Like I told you, there's an agreement that's ongoing. There's a company that's been formed, and I know that company has started making some moves in the right direction. Government has also backed up, has also put its money where its mouth is and released an additional amount of funds to support local manufacturing. Okay? But where I have a problem sometimes with government, and I may be vilified for saying this, but sometimes we don't move as fast as we should do. Right? Sometimes we don't move as fast as we should.
How much investment has the government made?
If in terms of local manufacturing of vaccines, this particular administration must have put in somewhere between 15 to 20 billion naira, if I'm not mistaken. And I think this is the first time in decades any government has made this level of investment in local manufacturing of vaccines. But not just local manufacturing of vaccines. There's another area that this government has made some investment, which is perhaps underappreciated. And that area is the recognition of the place of science in national policy making. Okay? And I'll use the COVID organics preparation as to illustrate this point. When that product was being advertised by the president of Madagascar, I know countries where their presidents were sending planes to pick up jet loads of the product, and people had started using it. But in this country, the leaders frankly said that, well, it's a good innovation, but we will let science lead the way. And they said, we will not use this product unless NIPRD carries out the tests for this product. Okay? And what happened? That product came here. I mean, NIPRD wasn't the only agency that analyzed that product, but it is a thing of great, great pride. I think it must be one of my proudest professional moments that NIPRD undertook that categorical analysis first in the world, and our findings went viral in English and in French. And you don't need to take my word for it, go on the internet. We were the first to say that this particular product in this format does not do A, B, C, and D. However, it contains GHK, and it may be able to do X, Y, Z. That went viral, and it is in the labs that you walked past when you were coming up here that work was done. Wow. It is the people that you said hello to when you were strolling in here. Those were the world-class scientists that did the work. So a lot of times, sometimes in this country, we don't appreciate the expertise that we have. We don't.
I think I will take a closer look at them as I leave the building.
You will. You should do. You should do.
Thank you very much, Dr. Adibe. It's been such a pleasure and very enlightening speaking to you on Exclusive.
Yeah, it's been good to chat with you, and thank you for the opportunity to speak to Nigerians through your platform.
And we wish you the best of luck.